Before we begin, we'd like to offer a moment of silence and condolence for the recent passing of Akira Toriyama on March 1st.
So this video today, though, is going to be a little bit more upbeat. We're going to be doing a roundup video for you guys. We haven't done one of these, I don't think, in a while.
Yeah, it's been a bit. It's been a little bit since we've gotten together to talk about the recent events, but there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And a lot of things that we could bring up in the gaming world as usual, so we figured we'd give our 2 cents on it.
All right, so first bit of talky talk here. We got the Fallout trailer, Amazon Prime's newest original that's coming out based on the game that we all love and hold true to our hearts. And yeah, you said it looks nice, and I happen to agree. I think it looks pretty decent for being a live-action video game adaptation.
Yeah, I was worried. I didn't know if they were going to go the way of doing like mega blue screen or doing some like set locations, but it looks like they've actually gone and shot at quite a few places and created a really authentic looking experience. I will note there are some bits that look to be a little mashed up. I've seen some comments about like the axolotl thing that's in there, and there's the Pridwin, which that kind of sets a type of timeline, but not really. Personally, with the success of The Boys and Invincible, I think I'm just going to let go of those types of biases on this one and just whatever they give me. Right, I'm really excited because so far it looks good. And the guy from Hateful Eight, what's his name?
Oh yeah, Walter Goggins?
Oh, no,
Walton Goggins.
Walton Goggins. My goodness, does he deliver in this, man? His lines are so
make
crispy.
It looks cool. He's the ghoul, which is pretty cool. I do like, yeah, he looks like he's going to give a really good performance. And also the actress who plays the main girl, looked at her credits. She hasn't done like a lot, but she looks like she's going to be pretty well. And yeah, it's cool. I like the fact that we're getting different perspectives for like getting like the fucking Vault Boy story. We're getting like a Walton Goggins, like kind of just like a roamer of the world, and then we're getting the dude in the armor.
Yeah, the guy who's a part of the Brotherhood of Steel, which is one of the many factions inside of the game world. And I agree with you. Doing it this way and showing those multiple perspectives is going to be the best way that they can honor the choose your own type of gameplay mechanic that is an RPG. So I think that that's a great direction for what they're doing. Yeah,
it's really cool. And yeah, it's hopefully we'll continue the world of like good live action adaptations since, you know, Last of Us came out. Hopefully they can fall within that steps. And I think that it will kind of scratch that niche of like that realm because it's like post-apocalyptic, but it's going to be a little more fun. It looks like a little more playful. So it's going to be, I think, like between like Last of Us would be the peak, and then let's say like the Borderlands movies like the bottom. I think this will be like at least in the middle as far as like adaptations go.
Yeah, if nothing else, I really would just like to point out that from what they have shown, it just looks so, for the most part, one-to-one with the games. And I think that that's fantastic. That in itself is a show of effort on their part, and it makes me really excited to see more.
Yeah, can't wait. All right, moving on to the next bit of discussion here. EA recently had a bunch of layoffs. I think it was mainly, was it the Montreal or?
Yeah, and it ended up being somewhere around 670 employees. That number could be a little here or there with reports, but man, it's painful. And with other game, aside from people losing their jobs en masse like this, it's the loss of the projects that they were working on too just really sucks. It really, really sucks.
It's been really interesting to see like people who are like other devs that are part of EA like just coming out on Twitter and be like, oh, I lost my job today, just like out of nowhere. Like they had no idea it was coming, and like all these games that they've been working on, like just, oh, there goes all my hard work, all these years of work just gone.
Just to have that taken in that way, I can't imagine the type of situation that's created for them, and there's not really more to add to that. That's just
it's just a tough situation, and it just sucks because it's like we hear all the time like, hey, you know, like the video game community or like the business of it is collapsing. But when you see stuff like this, you're like, oh, you know, maybe they might be a little right. We might be like on the verge of total collapse of the gaming industry. Like there are some like outlier games that just like keep it going, but there's some that are just like, these ones were like thousands of EA projects maybe that we'll never see again because they just didn't fund it correctly, and like they've lost their jobs, and there goes all that hard work. So yeah, hopefully this is not like a sign of more things to come. But
yeah, hopefully not. I'm really hoping that we're going to be in better times from here on out, and I really do hope the best for these devs and that they find homes in different dev houses. I really do.
But also, sadly, speaking of more closures, Rooster Teeth announced that they have been closing their doors for business after, I believe it's 21 years on...
I think 22.
22 online, yeah. So Rooster Teeth has done many things. You know, they've done like Red versus Blue. They've done Ruby. They've done a few other things that I'm not familiar
Tons of
with.
stuff. I'm trying to remember the name of the anime that they did too with
Ruby.
Dakota Fanning. No, they did one that
Oh,
was
is there another one?
on Toonami. Yeah, it was a mech
Oh.
one, and Dakota Fanning was in it. There's a bunch of people in it. It honestly, just years and years of great product and stuff from them, and again, another group of people who put their heart and soul into the stuff that they worked on, and it's just, it's like that grim reminder of time. You know what I mean? It's terrible, but you got to remember to be grateful for the times that we did have. Going as far back as the original Red versus Blue videos, or even into their newer projects too. I remember, not like a month or two ago, we were walking through Target and we saw the Ruby Cross Justice League video, and I was geeking out over that because I was like, look at them, like they're
going for it.
To go that far and to leave their mark from where they began in the humble days of like the beginning of YouTube is insane.
Yeah, and it's like people who follow them closely, like I didn't follow them closely but to this point, but I guess everyone was saying like you could kind of see it coming, like with everyone like kind of splitting up and doing their own thing, and just like they have like so many subscribers on YouTube, but their views just don't match their subscriber count. So like the writing was on the wall, I suppose. But yeah, it is very sad, and it sucks to see like companies like that were such a milestone within like gaming, like like Machinima, as bad as they were as a company, but just like companies like that began on YouTube, and you're like, you liked them growing up. Now it's like, oh man, we really have aged, and people have like moved away from like that kind of content. So one of those things, man, sucks. And also again on Twitter, everyone was kind of like talking about how they lost their job just out of nowhere. They didn't find out until like it was announced by the media. It's like, that's crazy. Just be at home and be like, oh, I'm fired, I guess. All right, interesting. Good to know.
Not a good feeling.
Yeah, but hopefully we do get some of those people who worked like on the anime and stuff like that can move on to do more like cool creative projects. Now they don't have to be like under the roof of Rooster Teeth.
And with the way that anime and animation as a whole has gone over these past few years, it is a lot more widely accepted in public media. Like it's a darling at this point compared to how it used to be back when we were growing up. And I really do hope that they have an easier time than they would have then. I hope that they bounce back from it quickly, for sure.
And also, I mentioned it earlier a little bit, Borderlands, we got a trailer for that. We never really did a proper reaction for that.
Yep, I guess now's as good a time as any to say that...
I think it's going to be one of those typical Rotten Tomatoes,
It's going to be one of the movies of all time.
Yeah.
One of the movies of all time.
Definitely will be a movie, yeah.
I mean, listen, from the announcement of, and I'm not trying to just crap on it, like that's not my intention. From the announcement when they had the cast list first shown, I had my own personal reservations on it. Seeing them still go out and do it, that's great. But at the same time, there's you look at that and you look at the Fallout trailer. They're two different things, but at the same time, you just you know, it's tough. It's really tough to see it handled like that, and to me, it feels a lot like how Borderlands 3 kind of handled it, and just
lean too much into what they were doing.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's also like a weird casting. Like we have like Cate Blanchett who's gonna be in it. She's great, but then we have like Kevin Hart. So it's like, what are we doing here? Like, why do we have like these A-list actors, and then we have just like Kevin Hart and Jack Black?
So Kevin's been grinding. Kevin's been grinding recently, but I mean, and even Jack Black. Well, everyone has their place, and they're great actors. It's not that. It's just a weird place to have them. I guess. It
just feels like a little bit of miscasting, I think.
Yeah.
But it could pleasantly surprise some people. But I just feel like it's going to be one of those like typical 50% Rotten Tomato score films. Like, hey,
you're either going to love it or you're not going to. It's going to come down to genuine personal preference for people on this one.
And also, I know we were saying video game news, but there is a little bit of, I guess, anime news. The live-action Avatar has got announced for season 2 and 3 after the viewership success of the first one. Mm-hmm. So, I didn't watch it. I didn't want to. I felt bad about it. I've seen the reviews, and I was like, maybe I should just stay away. Did you happen to watch any of it?
No.
Nice.
To be honest with you, I was kind of in the same boat. And we've talked about it before of like, hey, just try it yourself and see if you like it. I used to be a real big hater on One Piece for the longest time, and I eventually converted. So, give things a chance. But it just seemed, I didn't like the idea of things that were removed from the series in order to cater to certain views. I'll say that. And I hope that with the announcement of the second and third season, they take certain criticisms to heart, but also do their best to offer their unique take on the story. as best they can.
And it is a big testament to casual viewers outweighing the diehards because it was, it was made for like the diehards, but also it was like we got to appeal to the wider audience, and that shows you like the casual viewers, the family of 5.
And that's kind of the thing with the Borderlands too, like with the Borderlands movie in itself. Like Jack Black as Claptrap is just going to do great. Like you do that because people are going to love it, right? Like there's things about it that could still work just fine, and I really do think some of the bending scenes are great from what I have seen.
Oh, okay,
but
I think it's just one of those ones where it's like it's diehards. Maybe this is not for us. We just gotta let the casuals enjoy this one.
It's okay.
Yeah,
let people enjoy it. We shouldn't gatekeep. Just let them have fun.
Do what they gotta do. All right, well, that will do it for our little recap here. Maybe we'll do some more of these. I think it was just kind of a fun way to knock out a bunch of like topics that we didn't get around to, and we just kind of threw it in here, a hodgepodge of ideas. A hot pot, if you will, throwback to our hot pot days.
Oh, yeah.
Those who know.
For those who know. Those who don't know.
Yeah. So, let us know down below what your thoughts are on any of these topics. The layoffs, the live actions, of all the adaptations.
Yeah, come down. Let's have a dialogue about that stuff.
Let's talk about some things. And, thank you guys for watching. As always, you can subscribe down below, follow down below, and I mentioned earlier, comment anything you want down below. And until next time, I was going to do like a Fallout goodbye, but I didn't play the game, so you have to do the Fallout goodbye. What's something Fallout fans would say if they were signing off?
Make sure to take some Rad-X with you.